He's mixed martial arts ultimate fighter.
Arguably the toughest man in the world.
A four-time national champion.
He's the undisputed fight king, whose fans are legion.
That all-American hero.
A three-time collegiate All-American.
But Randy Couture wasn't always treated like a hero.
I just had the sense that I was being counted out.
From a hard-scrabble upbringing,
my dad was never around,
to the pinnacle of the fight world.
Heavyweight champion for the world!
He's been knocked down and knocked out, but Randy Couture has always come back to prove the experts wrong, time after time.
Captain America, Randy the Natural Couture!
Nothing to lose.
Leads you to where you are today.
I believe in storytelling.
It's gonna make you a star.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
August 25th, 2007, the Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada. Inside, 44-year-old UFC heavyweight champ Randy Couture is set to battle Gabriel Gonzaga, a fighter 16 years his junior. They're mixed martial artists, fighters in the world's favorite anything-goes blood sport. Early into the third round, Couture breaks his arm, but miraculously, he still manages to win.
It didn't stop him. He got in, picked him up, and broke his nose. I mean, it was pretty exciting.
The victory cements Couture's status as mixed martial arts' most enduring champion.
He understands how to mentally break people. Every fighter, no matter what, has a breaking point.
And Randy Couture seems to always find that point.
He's about imposing his will on other fighters. He does that as well as anybody has ever in the mixed martial arts history.
But Couture's life hasn't always been so charmed, and his path to glory has had its fair share of roadblocks. Randy Dwayne Couture was born June 22, 1963, in Linwood, Washington. The oldest of Ed and Sharon Couture's 3 children. Their home life was tension-filled until the couple's stormy relationship ended, and Ed left in 1966. Randy was quickly forced to become the man of the house.
My dad was never around. He was never a contributing factor to my life.
His mother, Sharon, struggled to support Randy and his 2 sisters, Tracy and Yolanda.
My mom worked hard. I know she worked more than one job, and if we needed it, my mom found a way to get it.
Though she worked long days as a bookkeeper at a local tavern, she always managed to keep an eye on the kids. Sharon knew that sports could offer her children the discipline and structure they needed.
My mom kind of pushed me especially, but I think all 3 of us kids into sports to keep us busy. I played just about every school sport there was.
Home life revolved around after-school homework, practices, and never-ending weekend games. Randy seemed to excel at all, flourishing both in the classroom and on the playing field.
He was a good student. He hung in there and did well.
He was a good kid. He was always a leader. Loved to have kids around him.
Although Randy tried his hand at a variety of sports, when he attended a district wrestling meet, he found his true passion.
I got my first bloody nose and pinned a kid with a headlock. I didn't even know what a headlock was.
When Randy enrolled in junior high, he saw a familiar face.
That same coach that set up that district meet was the gym teacher and the wrestling coach, and he kind of remembered me from that novice tournament and said, "Hey, wrestling starts Monday, I'll see you then."
It was just the invitation he needed. What he lacked in technique and experience, Randy made up for with heart and determination. His coach, John Casebeer, became the positive role model he needed.
He was the kind of kid that just had the kind of aspirations that really a lot of coaches look for in young kids. He had the attitude. He had a tremendous amount of self-discipline. He didn't know what the word quit meant.
Despite that dedication, Randy failed to make the team in his 158-pound weight class. Couture refused to lose. He hit the weight room with even more determination. He challenged at the next weight division, and then the next, before finally earning a slot on the team at 178 pounds.
It was a big deal for him to want to be on the team bad enough to, I'm gonna go up 2 weight classes. And you know, not only did he go up, he goes up and does awesome.
By his senior year, Randy had proven his worth to the Linwood squad. He was state champion and one of the most popular athletes on campus. And it was during that year that he set his sights on a new prize, Sharon Kuma.
I had actually asked her to a high school dance our sophomore year, and she turned me down, and then ended up asking her out again, and we ended up dating our whole senior year.
After graduation, the couple spent the summer together before parting ways. Sharon left for the University of Washington, and Randy headed to Washington State University. He had no idea just how drastically his life was about to change.
I got a phone call about 3 weeks later over in the dorm at Washington State, which turned everything upside down.
Sharon was pregnant. Randy knew what it was like to grow up without a father, and he was determined not to do that to his child.
When I found out I was having a kid, the last thing I wanted to be was like my dad. So I, felt like I was doing what I needed to do to make sure that didn't happen.
They were married when Sharon just turned 19 and Randy was still 18. And Ryan was born the following August, a year and 2 months after he graduated from high school.
Still in his teens and with less than 1 semester of college under his belt, Randy left Washington State with precious few options.
What is an 18-year-old kid gonna do? He got a job working at a golf course on the lawn mowing crew.
But the money wasn't nearly enough to support his new family. Randy needed financial stability, and fast.
Come on, people, come on. Stop.
They teach determination and commitment, and the skills needed to meet the challenge.
When Randy heard the Army was offering a $5,000 signing bonus, he knew what he needed to do.
The military was in dire need, and I was interested in flying. My original goal was to be in the Forest Service and fly helicopters for the Forest Service.
It is here that young Americans gain a full understanding of what it is to be a soldier.
But more than indulging a passion was his need for cash. So in 1982, at the age of 19, Randy signed up. The move would lead to a huge opportunity for Randy. But that opportunity wouldn't be in a cockpit. By the summer of 1982, wrestling was the furthest thing from Randy Couture's mind. The standout high school grappler had enlisted in the U.S. Army. He'd married his high school sweetheart and had a son, Ryan. Randy was posted to Germany and assigned to the 101st Airborne. There, he found an apartment for his family behind a junkyard. It was all Randy could afford. But his fortunes were about to take another unexpected turn.
I wasn't there a week and working out in the gym there, and a lieutenant from a field artillery unit asked me if I wrestled. I don't know why he asked me, because I didn't have the telltale cauliflower ears back then. And I said, yeah, I wrestled in high school.
It didn't take much to convince Randy to join the Army's team. Practices took place at a local gym.
Started taking me to this German wrestling club twice a week, and ended up wrestling for that German team, and I was back on the road and wrestling again in pretty short order.
As in high school, Randy wrestled freestyle. In freestyle wrestling, attacks on the legs are permitted, so an opponent can be brought to the mat by wrapping up the legs. But in an Army meet, his name was mistakenly added to the Greco-Roman roster. Randy had never trained or competed Greco-Roman style.
I was like, I'm not supposed to be wrestling Greco.
Greco-Roman is more on upper body locks. You're not allowed to, attack your opponent's legs. You're not allowed to trip them. You just tie up with them in the clinch and take them down.
And they said, well, you're on the bracket. Are you going to wrestle or not? And I was like, all right. So I went out and wrestled my first Greco match, and I won the match. I have no idea how I won the match, but I won the match.
From then on, Randy competed in both Greco-Roman and freestyle. He won the 5th Corps Regional Championship in both. Randy went on to the All-European Tournament, where he won freestyle and took 2nd in Greco. His performance earned him a spot on the All-Army team.